Good afternoon, everyone. This is Mitchell here on my YouTube channel. It's good to see you guys after a good week or two. I've been very busy lately with just life in general, working and life and having my own apartment. It's just nice to be back and to see you guys again in this video. In this video, we'll be preparing for the NFL schedule for this week already. It's already week 7, and I cannot believe how fast the time is flying and that we're pretty much halfway done with the season. And it's just incredible that it really took that long, and they're extending it past 17 games starting next year. So that's definitely going to be insane that's going to happen. So without further ado, we will start for this week. Tomorrow it could be a decent game because the NFC East is very, very weak this year and inconsistent. Mike McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys are actually leading at 2-4. I cannot believe them Cowboys are leading. And Monday they really got blown out, which I'm not surprised by Kyler Murray and company from the Arizona Cardinals. I definitely saw that coming. Definitely a blowout. Not surprised on that result. So we'll go back to this one. We have the New York Football Giants who had their first win of the season last Sunday, but they should have beaten Dallas, and that game came down to a field goal. Actually, a very good one, NFC East wise, and they could have easily won 2 in a row. They did win last week, but I don't see them winning against Philadelphia. But I'm looking forward the most to this one because both teams, I think, are evenly matched, and the Eagles definitely aren't as consistent as they were when they won the Super Bowl. My twin brother is a big Eagles fan, so it's obviously every game's big for the Eagles at this point, anyone in the NFC East. So that's tomorrow, and hopefully there's no positive cases where games keep getting delayed this week. So there's a few delayed games left. And then we have Sunday, October 25th. Our first game out of a pretty big day in the league is the Pittsburgh Steelers at Ryan Tannehill and the Tennessee Titans. This is actually an incredible new matchup. I'm sure Jim Nantz and Tony Romo will be at this one because these are two undefeated teams in the league, and I think it's definitely gonna come down to the wire. But I do have Ryan Tannehill and the defending AFC champion Tennessee Titans pulling this out because of how well they're playing. And I think Big Ben's days are starting to end as good as Pittsburgh is with Mike Tomlin and company, and Le'Veon Bell still not there anymore, and James Conner still trying to grow to a sensational players for the Steelers as time keeps going on. So I think Tennessee just has a lot more experience. Derrick Henry's going to get going as well since they're at Nashville, and we're going to have them win at the Music City. We got the Dallas Cowboys, speaking of which, who are without Dak Prescott for the year at the Washington football team. I do see Dallas rebounding here. I don't think Washington's going to have enough to pull it out, and I think they're going to be very, very hungry to have a good game after getting blown out to the Arizona Cardinals. We had the Buffalo Bills at New York Jets, definitely the struggling New York Jets. I'm obviously taking the Bills there, but I think they're only going to win by a touchdown because the Jets will eventually start to play, even though they haven't. I think that one of these times they're going to play, and it's an in-state game, so they could be something for them to play for. We'll really see. Next, we have the Carolina Panthers against the New Orleans Saints. I don't think Teddy Bridgewater and company are going to have enough, and I think the Saints are definitely due for a big NFC South win. And I know they beat the Buccaneers, but their loss against the Packers, they nearly lost to the Lions. I think they're honestly very much struggling this year compared to the past, and I think Breeze's days are starting to really, really swirl on a whirlwind here. And if they got a big win against Carolina, that'll help improve their chances at winning a very tough NFC South division if they can pass Brady and the Buccaneers. And we'll get into that later from last week. The Green Bay Packers at Houston Texans, my favorite team, the Packers. I'm hoping they can pull it out, and I think they will. But I think it's literally going to come down to a field goal. Honestly, Houston Texans are really tough at home. They're not going to have a lot of fans, but I think they're really going to play for something. Last week they could have beaten Tennessee in overtime, and then the first game since Bill O'Brien got fired a week ago, they ended up winning that one as well. And the Packers are trying to get consistent again. The bye week I don't think helped at all against the Buccaneers, and the inconsistency that game was just for real. And Tampa Bay was definitely a dirty team. I knew they deserved to win, but I think definitely their defense isn't. I think their defense is very, very dirty in the league, and Like, reminds me of the Ndamukong Suh when he played for the Lions. He actually does play for Tampa Bay, so that's incredible. I didn't know after all these years. You don't hear of his name very often, but you would after that game because of what he did then. Next, we have the in-state Ohio rivalry between the up and rising Cleveland Browns and the Joe Burrow show in Cincinnati. I think Baker Mayfield and company are going to be a lot, but this game at Paul Brown Stadium is going to be really electrifying, and I think it's going to be one of the bigger games of the week. And we'll see if rookie sensation Joe Burrow continues his good games, and if he could actually pull out a last minute miracle, unlike what they did a few games, but they did pull it out once this year, and I think the Browns are going to pull it out, but I think that's going to be a good game to keep an eye on from that perspective there. Next, we have the Detroit Lions, who actually are playing decent this year. They're better than the Minnesota Vikings, very much ironically. I think they are playing pretty well, but then they're playing Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons, who are trying to get a couple wins to somehow stay in the wild card picture, if there's even any way, with Dan Quinn getting fired, and their inconsistency. But I do see Detroit Detroit improving to 3-3, and they're at 500, and I do think they'll win this one, but this is definitely another interesting one in the NFL this week. We have the Seattle Seahawks at Arizona Cardinals. Now we're at the 3 o'clock or later games. Kyler Murray and Arizona, they played so well on Monday. It was incredible on his performance, and if he kept it going, I think they could pull out a massive upset and knock off the Seattle Seahawks, who are undefeated. They're one of the only teams in the NFL to be undefeated currently, and I think Arizona is going to get it done. They are at home. I think they're due for a big win in the NFC West, and I think they're gonna beat Seattle. So there's many good games in that way. We have Gardner Minshew III in Jacksonville against the Chargers of LA. I think LA is going to win pretty big in this one. Justin Herbert is their backup, and I think he played incredible enough against New Orleans. That's the game New Orleans barely won, was that one. Now that definitely crossed my mind. I think, honestly, the way he looked that game, I think he's definitely going to dominate at home, and that's definitely a bold prediction there. And at 3:25 on CBS, that might be a Nance Romo game. Who knows? It's San Francisco at New England. I'm definitely gonna take Cam Newton and the Patriots, but I'm not gonna be surprised if San Francisco gives it a game, because I think they're very due to have a big statement win, and that could come against the New England Patriots if they could pull that out. But I don't see them doing it right now. 3:25, we have the Kansas City Chiefs at Denver Broncos. It's a rivalry game for that conference. I think Kansas City is definitely too much for Denver, but I see Kansas City winning by less than 10 because it's in Mile High, and they're gonna want to come out to play against one of the best teams in the entire NFL right now in Kansas City. And then a Sunday night game, we have the Buccaneers. Speaking of them, on how well they played, they have their Raiders from Las Vegas. I think this is gonna really be a test if their Raiders can keep it going, and I think they might, but I think Tom Brady and company will. I think they'll really rise and win this one with the way they played against Green Bay, and they're starting to really fire on all cylinders now, and very much surprising NFL teams like undefeated Green Bay last week. So the Raiders will not. I don't think the Raiders will win this one. So we're on the Monday Night Football. The Chicago Bears will be playing the Los Angeles Rams at the Rams. The Rams and Chargers have almost the same logos, ironically. This is going to be a good game because Nick Foles and the Rising Bears are actually 5-1. I can't believe they are, but honestly, all they do is win games. They did against Tampa Bay, and I think Tampa Bay is more back after beating the Green Bay Packers. But I think they're gonna continue because they really do have something going with Nick Foles starting there, and I think that's very impressive to say as a Packers fan of what he's doing. And their offense in general, their defense is performing well like they used to, and they think they're going to have enough to beat the Rams, who also lost to the San Francisco 49ers in a big upset in the league last Sunday night. Hope you guys enjoyed this video for today, and we'll see you on my next video. College football picks coming up soon.